My fiancé posted last night of freedom with photos from his bachelor party, so I gave him a present to make that freedom last. The caption glowed on my phone screen at 3 a.m. Freedom, as if our relationship had been his cage. The photos showed Dominic with his arm draped around a woman whose face I didn't recognize, but whose intimacy I understood immediately. His hand rested too comfortably on her waist, fingers splayed with proprietorial ease. I thought about my mother, who stayed through 30 years of freedom, who scraped together dignity from the crumbs of respect he occasionally tossed her way, who taught me that love meant endurance, that commitment meant swallowing your voice until it dissolved completely, till you forgot what your own thoughts sounded like. I had learned different lessons, though it took years to unlearn her gospel of diminishment. By dawn, I'd packed his belongings into boxes labeled with surgical precision. The apartment we'd shared became mine alone. My name was the only one on the lease, a detail I'd insisted on that he'd found charmingly unnecessary. The engagement ring sat in a small velvet box on top of his clothes, alongside the wedding bands we'd selected together. But the real present was the folder. Inside, screenshots, timestamps, messages, not just from last night, but from months of carefully documented deception. His boss, Thaddeus, would find the evidence of embezzled funds particularly interesting. The patterns I'd noticed when reviewing our shared finances, the discrepancies I'd traced back to his company's accounts. My sister called it excessive. Just leave him, she said, her voice carrying the weariness of someone who'd chosen the simpler wound. But leaving isn't reclamation. Leaving is retreat. I'd spent years watching women in my family disappear into the spaces men created for them. My aunt became a ghost in her own kitchen, her laughter fossilizing. My grandmother spoke in whispers, as if her voice might shatter something precious. Even my sister, brilliant and capable, diminished herself to fit inside her partner's expectations. The system teaches us that love requires sacrifice, that our sharp edges must be sanded down, our voices modulated, our ambitions negotiable. That freedom is something men experience while we wait at home, performing patience. I was done negotiating. When Dominic arrived home that evening, smelling of regret and expensive cologne, he found the boxes, found the folder, watched as I explained, with crystalline clarity, that his freedom was now absolute and permanent. You're vindictive, he spat. No, I was awake. The woman in the photos contacted me 3 weeks later. Celestine, her name was. She'd been told I was his ex, that we'd ended things mutually months ago. We met for coffee, two women untangling the same web of lies, recognizing each other as fellow travelers in deception's geography. She thanked me for the truth. I thanked her for existing. Her presence had been the catalyst I needed, the final permission to stop performing forgiveness. Today, I live in that apartment alone. My name on every document, every bill, every decision. The space reflects my choices, not our compromises. I've stopped performing the version of myself that made others comfortable, stopped softening my edges to avoid cutting through their convenient narratives. My mother asks when I'll try again, find someone new. She doesn't understand that I'm not recovering from Dominic. I'm recovering myself, the parts I'd negotiated away, the sharp edges I'd hidden, the voice I'd learned to soften. This isn't a story about revenge. It's about the moment you stop asking for permission to exist fully. When you realize that your worth isn't determined by who chooses you, but by who you choose to become when you stop choosing them. When you understand that freedom isn't performed for social media, but built in quiet spaces where you finally hear your own voice. Freedom, it turns out, looks nothing like his bachelor party photos. It looks like my name on a lease, like decisions made without consultation, like a voice that no longer whispers. It looks like reclamation.